Today we have a fantastic skateboarding channel that makes very nice rise and fall, downfall-y type videos. I actually know this guy in real life and he's a cool dude. And I saw this one drop. Most loved versus most hated skateboarders. A nice Tony Hawk and Aaron Cairo in the thumbnail. I'm kind of curious to see how he sort of like portrays the Braille situation from the outside looking in. And like this is a list of other skaters too, so probably it looks like we're gonna get Tony Hawk, Mullen, Daewon Song, Dyrdek as well. So let's see, and let's see if Cairo is number one. I would say like Berra is probably gonna be high on the hated as well. But let's see.
These are the most loved and most hated pro skaters, starting with Aaron Cairo, a professional skater from the San Francisco Bay Area who's easily one of the most hated. As one of the first and largest skateboarders on YouTube, Aaron Cairo once had a massive fan base online. He would post a variety of content, from skateboarding tutorials to random challenge videos, and would get tens of millions of views each month. Eventually, he would even hire a full team of skaters to help make videos at his private skate park, which only helped the channel grow even.
You think Rick has a clip? I think probably not.
And more.
Alright guys, we're here today with Lance. We're gonna play a game.
Nigel with the Tesla hat. Damn. I feel like there's been some Tesla stuff going on for like a long time. That's interesting to see with the hat. We got Kelly Wakaza, we got Troy as well.
Game
and
of
this
skate.
guy.
We're gonna play a game of trivia.
Everyone's fave.
What? These videos just get worse every day. I'm just kidding.
These videos allowed Aaron's channel to make millions of dollars and keep its spot as the biggest skateboarding channel on YouTube for several years. However, this would all quickly change after Aaron randomly announced he was shutting down the skate park, saying that it was too expensive to keep open.
The Braille house was this stable point that we have had for a very, very long time. And now it's gone. You guys must know that I did everything I could to save the Braille house. I literally took out a loan on my house as a home equity line of credit, and I've just been paying the warehouse rent from that. But there is a point where that breaks and that no longer can work. And we've hit that point.
Now, it was known for years that Aaron Cairo was actually a member of the Church of Scientology, but since he didn't try to force the church onto anyone, it was mostly ignored by the other team members and their fans. Once the park's closure was announced though, people quickly found out that Aaron had allegedly donated over $1 million to the church.
And then you've got Aaron Cairo, whose channel is generating so much money, and
the legend that we
that money
interviewed
back into helping the people who grew the channel. Scientology takes Aaron Cairo, puts his face in a frickin' magazine, giving him an award for donating $1 million.
Considering he was only paying the team.
The park was not for sale, and I don't know what you think type of creator I am, but the park was $12,000 rent per month. Rick business, React business, making skate video live streams cannot support $12,000 rent per month, only to break even. You know what I mean? So Rick is definitely not buying the warehouse. Absolutely not. That was an impossible task.
$20 an hour and claimed the skate park was too expensive to keep open. This upset a lot of the channel's fans. And not only was the park's closure a surprise to viewers, but it was also a surprise to the other team members who weren't even told it was being shut down.
Mr. Nyjah Jones posted videos of Braille getting destroyed.
Who's this guy?
Very hard to see. Very powerful images. But it got me really bummed out because I knew Braille was struggling, but man, I didn't know the park was literally getting destroyed right now.
After other members of the team tried to talk to him about it, they were labeled as enemies of the church and blocked from all forms of communication.
What this is about is on Instagram, Braille skateboarding and Aaron Cairo
with the fit. Hey, I kind of like this guy's fit. Looks good, right?
both blocked me, rickyglaser, on Instagram.
This caused a massive wave of backlash, with Aaron's channel losing over 100,000 subscribers and his average views dropping down to just a few thousand views per video. The fact that Braille was practically run by Scientologists, while the skaters, who did almost all of the work, were given peanuts, is proof that Braille had one goal: to fund an evil cult. Aaron was never sincere when he said he did all of this out of his love for skateboarding. He used skateboarding, as well as the people he called his friends, to make Scientology a lot of money. But a skater who never cared.
I know it's crazy. This is a comment of an account that has 1 subscriber and then it got 2,300k likes. That's interesting. I think when people say this, they're going too hard the other direction.
As well as the people he called his friends to make Scientology a lot of money. But a skater who never cared about the money is Rodney Mullen, who's easily one of the richest.
Yeah, like I think it's so obviously wrong to say that Aaron didn't love skating. I agree. Like it's like a fried take to say stuff like that. It's all conspiratorial. Like, people go too far with it.
Skateboarders in the world, and also one of the most humble.
That's the full Braille section, the first minute, and then now I guess it's most loved. So who else are we gonna have on the list? I guess it's gonna go one love, one hate, one love, one hate.
He called his friends to make Scientology a lot of money. But a skater who never cared about the money is Rodney Mullen, who's easily one of the richest skateboarders in the world and also one of the most humble. Widely viewed as one of the top 10 greatest skateboarders of all time, Rodney Mullen is known for inventing a few of the tricks that people still do today.
You're credited with inventing
a few? A few? Literally every single one.
Known for inventing a few of the tricks that people still do today.
You're credited with inventing the flat ground ollie. Yeah. I did not realize that. That's amazing, because that's the basis of all skateboarding tricks, really, in some way.
So that's why they give me really, the way I look at it,
he literally invented everything.
Disproportional amount of credit. Like, I didn't foresee was just a good way to get up curbs, wasn't even that cool. You know? And then freestyle phases out, and then suddenly, oh my gosh, look what you did was so important. I'm like, I appreciate that, but I was just doing my thing. That's how I feel about it.
Rodney is credited for inventing the kickflip, the heel flip, impossibles, and 360 flips, but he's always remained extremely humble about his contributions to skateboarding. He was also one of the co-founders of World Industries, which sold for around $30 million in the late 90s, making him a multi-millionaire overnight. Despite this, he's always been very modest and never had a flashy lifestyle, which is very different from Nyjah Huston, who's one of the biggest names to come out of skateboarding. While most pro skaters barely make enough money to pay their rent, Nyjah has managed to become one of the greatest skateboarders of all time and make millions of dollars through his sponsorships, brand deals, and contest wins. This has allowed him to achieve a level of wealth and fame.
I feel like it's a little bit unfair to say Nyjah's one of the most hated, because I feel like there's still so many people that really like Nyjah. I'm one of those people, you know? And if you have so much love and then so much hate, like, yeah, I guess the hate is such a big amount, but then it's like way overshadowed by so much love.
That few skaters ever even get close to, and he shared his lifestyle online every step of the way. While most other sports wouldn't care about this, many skaters didn't like the flashy lifestyle, and as a result, a lot of the skate industry aren't the biggest fans. In a Reddit post titled "Why the Hate for Nyjah," one comment summed things up, saying, "Mainly because he's the best and he wins all the contests." The same thing has happened to pretty much every athlete who's that dominant in their sport. People hate them.
Is it though? Do people hate Michael Jordan? Do people hate who's like a baseball player? I feel like that's not really true. I feel like it's true and not at the same time. I feel like people do hate him because he's the best, but they also hate him because he's kind of arrogant and flashy and like all these hateable things. I don't think it's purely because he's the best. It's sort of true people hate LeBron.
Because they are the best. It's lonely at the top. He's also rich and a party boy. Some people don't like that, but
yeah,
I don't
think
care.
It's more than
I'll
arrogance.
still watch all his parts. Although some people do have more legitimate reasons for not liking Nyjah, simply being at the top is something that always causes a lot of hate, which is exactly what happened to Tony Hawk for several years.
What? I feel like Tony Hawk should be in most loved, not most hated. What the hell?
Tony Hawk is often considered one of the most loved skateboarders of all time. For the first decade of his career, he was actually one of the most hated.
Because when I was a kid, I was doing this outcast activity, right? So I was already not cool in school. And then I started skating, and I was like a scrawny little kid with a really sort of what they call robotic style because I was focusing on tricks. So I was getting made fun of in the skate world. So I was like an outcast in this outcast activity, and it was really isolating.
However,
I always really like that story. I super connect with that too. Like, I think I really think that him going through that, it kept him like humble now when he's like super rich.
After going broke during the 90s and being forced to do skate demos in parking lots for money, Tony's career would eventually regain momentum. In the late 90s, he got a video game deal that ended up being one of the most popular franchises of all time, making him a household name overnight.
Tony Hawk, Tony Hawk,
Tony Hawk,
Tony Hawk.
Kids these days might not know about it, but in the early 2000s, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was one of the biggest video games in the world. This sparked an entire new wave for his career, gaining him tons of fans and making him more money than ever.
Things are way bigger than you ever thought. He handed me a check for $4 million.
Oh,
that happened.
Wow.
He's since become known for building hundreds of skate parks all over the country, giving back to skateboarding more than anyone else before him. But simply building skate parks doesn't always make someone liked within skateboarding, as we can see with Steve Berra.
Oh, Oh, I called it. I knew Berra was gonna be on the hated. But see, Berra's just hated by the skate community, I guess. I feel like the hate for Berra and Nyjah is kind of different.
Famously founded the Berra skate park, but still became widely hated. Unlike normal skate parks, the Berrics was designed to be a private place for professional skaters to practice and film content. The Berrics would film weekly video series and post them online, giving normal skaters a unique look into the personalities of their favorite pros. A lot of the content was also based around the community, whether it be clips viewers submitted, or even having the community vote on who was featured in the videos. People loved the personal feel of the content and connected with the Berrics because of that. As time went on though, the public's opinion would slowly start to change.
There's some fun videos of Berra on Instagram Live, like crashing out on like Nike and stuff, and just like burning bridges on Berric's Instagram Live. I feel like there's a few like 10-minute videos like that over like different time periods. So yeah, I guess like you can only do stuff like that so much before people just get fully over you.
Instead of there being one specific reason that caused people to stop liking Steve Berra, it was mostly a large volume of smaller reasons. For example, a lot of people didn't like the way they started handling their battle at the Berric skate contest, with Steve Berra making certain decisions that got people angry.
This controversial one, that was a fun watch.
And I said, what's the point of us here voting? Because that was like the whole reason we all downloaded this app, right? And went to vote. Like, why are we all here?
The great caffeine scandal.
Voting for our favorite submission if Berra's just going to pick his favorite. Couldn't he have done that off live stream? Couldn't he have just sent a DM and been like, yo, I like yours, just like, come through?
Hey, I didn't say that your vote was the only vote.
On the Berric's Instagram page, they would also start to feature a lot of girl skaters simply because they were hot, rather than posting less attractive girls who were better skaters. They would even argue with people.
That's part of the Berra hate? I don't know about that. That's the Berra hate?
On the Berric's Instagram page, they would also start to feature a lot of girl skaters simply because they were hot, rather than posting less attractive girls who were better skaters.
That's sus. I'm pretty sure that was, what age was Sky Brown in that clip? I don't even want to know, bro. What the hell?
Berra would even argue with people in the comments, which
you shouldn't put that while you're saying that. Sus. Very sus.
The best look, especially since he was an adult and most of the comments were kids. There were also some questionable sponsorships that the Berrics promoted, which a lot of skaters didn't like. On top of all this, there's been a lot of talk about Berra allegedly donating $500,000 to Scientology, mistreating people within the skate industry, not paying his staff, and just being unprofessional.
The only reason I'm actually making this public and putting this out there is because
this was a
Steve
fun
Berra
saga
has been
too.
going to different people in the skate industry and trying to smear my name. He's been telling people that I'm shady, that they shouldn't work with me, and pretty much try to ruin any relationships I've had or could potentially have in the skate industry.
Didn't that chick have controversy? Who? Skate Moss? I thought she just became a realtor. I think I see on Instagram she just posted realtor stuff.
All because
I think the one they hate is the, I guess they seem kind of similar, that I can't remember her name, starts with S. She's kind of like the new age Skate Moss.
He did me dirty, and I said I would take it to court if we didn't resolve things in a professional manner.
While Berra might have had good intentions, as the person behind the brand, when things went wrong, he was the person who took the blame. And as a result, many skaters aren't a fan. But one skater with essentially zero haters is Daewon Song.
Okay, you want to see the Nike crash out real quick? Let's see if my memory serves correctly. 20 minutes. Steve Berra Instagram live rant on DC Shoes Part 2.
Shane and Luan deserve their own shoe. Yes, I do. I think Shane and Luan are the greatest skaters.
Let's crank it.
Right now. I think P-Rod is one of the greatest skaters. Eric Huston. Chris Cole. There's something coming up.
Are we gonna get a Ram Frog in here?
At the agenda show. You guys should all come. It's gonna be awesome. Shane would have a crazy Australian shoe. Like, what if Shane had a Crocs, but it had a Nike on the side?
Okay, where's the crash out though?
Not that I ever would have. They don't really fucking make Patrick Waddell's a bully. That's pretty funny. I don't disagree with you. Paradox, Grip. Oh yeah, Mike Mo's off DC too, just so you know. Anyway, the point is, you know, because look, if skaters made like shit that.
Shout out to this man that put their phone down and they knew it was gold, and they just recorded it all. It's not even screen record. It's just filming the phone.
Players made, you know, where James Harden, how you gonna kick a dude off in the middle of taxis and no one?
They knew this was historic to document it.
That's right, Tory Pudwell. That's fucking right. And in the middle of where nobody has a budget, so
I don't even know what he's talking about.
all day long, I'm wearing Adidas right now, right?
This was pre-Kariyama. This was a long time ago. 8 years ago.
Whoever's fucking up, right? I'm always seems to be the guy to fucking say something, you know. But I haven't like talked a bunch of shit about people because I don't think that's cool, and I'm still not gonna talk a bunch of shit about people. But I don't actually give a fuck anymore. I don't care about sponsors. I don't fucking, you know, the people that we work with at the barracks are awesome. All those companies. Anyway,
yeah, you can do more research in your own time. Just write Steve Berra crush out.
But one skater with essentially zero haters is Daewon Song, who's easily one of the most creative skateboarders to ever live.
Sick.
Daewon first got popular in the early 90s and has had some of the most influential video parts of all time. But when asked about it, he's still incredibly humble.
I was watching Love Child, man, and the Daewon Song.
It's a tough watch.
What are you talking? That's the best.
That's
that
some
brings
of the
back
groupiest kick flips and worst hard flips ever documented.
Okay, but let's say that was the first hard flip ever documented, though.
Maybe.
100%, right?
I still give it to that dude, Dan Gallagher.
Okay.
I just heard about it, so.
Even as he's gotten into his 50s, Daewon has continued to put out
Still
creative skateboarding content, which is something that few skaters still do at his age. The thing about Daewon is he is so genuine. So many pro skaters preach about just having fun, but for some reason, Daewon always seems to take that much more to heart. Even just in the way he skates, you can tell it's truly his life's passion. I firmly believe he would be doing just as much absolutely unbelievable skating, whether there was a camera on him or not, because that's just who he is. Other than getting some
I feel like that kind of radiates out into skating. You can kind of tell when someone's having fun, and you can really like feel it, you know? And I feel like Daewon just really seems like a genuine person.
Unbelievable skating, whether there was a camera on him or not, because that's just who he is. Other than getting some backlash for switching his shoe sponsor from DVS to Adidas, Daewon has gone his entire career without any major controversies, which can't be said for Tim Pool, who's had
Tim Pool's on the list? Damn!
Gone his entire career without
Tim
any
Pool's
major
on the naughty list?
Which can't be.
I feel like everyone else in this list has been like a pro skater. I guess Cairo is the lowest one. Then it was like pro. Now Tim Pool is just, yeah, he's a lifelong skater, but I don't know if he deserves the list. I guess, you know, we're just trying to get views or whatever. I'm curious to hear what he says.
Said for Tim Pool, who's had major issues since the start of his time in skateboarding. Tim Pool is a podcaster and media personality who's done videos with Joe Rogan, Kanye West, and the President of Israel, just to name a few. Although most of his career has been spent in news and media, in recent years, he's slowly gotten more involved in the world of skateboarding.
That was pretty good.
Since Tim Pool grew up skating, he's made an effort to reinvest the money he's made from podcasting back into skateboarding.
Boom.
However, considering some of his political views are somewhat right-wing, naturally, that's caused a lot of controversy as he's tried to get into the skate scene.
So here's the gist of the story. There is an event happening in Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Oh yeah, this whole DIY thing.
Where we own property and are setting up several businesses. So I offered $20,000 in prizes to this event, and they're basically a bunch of leftists insulted me rather intently and then physically threatened me, saying that if I showed up, I'd be physically removed on land they did not own. So I found the owner and I bought the land for $1 million, and now they're on my skate park.
Allegedly, Tim was already working on buying the property to renovate it, but some of the locals still weren't happy.
The guy says, you bought it to steal it from us. And I said, how long do you think it takes for someone to buy property? And he goes, 30 to 60 days without missing a beat. I'm like, It's almost like we were trying to buy it for a long time.
The main pushback is that Tim was injecting himself where he wasn't wanted, but from his perspective, he was just trying to help the skate scene in a small town. Tim has also had some videos where he talks about trans skaters competing against biological female skaters, which has definitely gotten a lot of people angry. Although he might have simply intended to help out skaters, these things have caused a lot of backlash within the skate community. But just because someone gets a lot of backlash doesn't mean that they still don't have fans, with Dyrdek.
I feel like you could have left that out. I don't know enough about this DIY thing. It seemed like a bit of a shit show all around. But like, I feel like this wasn't worthy of the list, to be honest. Now we're gonna go back to Rob Dyrdek.
But just because someone gets a lot of backlash doesn't mean that they still don't have fans, with Rob Dyrdek being a great example of this. Rob Dyrdek started off as a pro skater in the late 90s before becoming a reality TV star and business owner. After getting his first show, a lot of the core skate community didn't like him. They thought he was a sellout, corny, and obnoxious. The thing is, the show also brought in a ton of new skaters, and people who were just starting out or only skated casually quickly became huge fans. His first TV show with his best friend Big Black became incredibly popular and led to several other TV shows as time went on. This allowed Rob to make millions of dollars from his sponsors and begin to start his own companies.
You gotta think I did Chevy deals, Microsoft deals, Carl's Jr. deals. I just did all these mega deals and integrated it into that show. So I was making millions. Then I was like making millions off of all.
Like him and Daewon are like the opposite. Daewon talks about how his trucks are loose, and he talks about how much he can make from skating. Isn't that kind of funny?
I was making millions. Then I was like making millions off of all my product and board sales and all of that stuff. Like by
they go to Daewon. They go, you invented the hard flip, and he goes, nah, I don't think so. And then this guy goes, I made so much money from board sales.
Off of all my product and board sales and all of that stuff, like by seeing it through a business lens ahead of time and how could I maximize it.
For example, he founded Street League Skateboarding, Momentous Supplements, and his own charity that's built free public skate parks all over the US. So although he's gotten hate from certain skaters over the years, he still has a massive fan base. This is a very different outcome from Terry Kennedy, who also used to have a huge fan base that unfortunately no longer exists. In the early to mid 2000s, Terry Kennedy was one of the biggest names in skateboarding. As a part of the Baker crew, he was universally loved in skating and had a really successful career for the first decade. However, as he phased out of skateboarding, he began to have some mental health issues and was allegedly taken advantage of by certain people in his circle. He started posting some bizarre rants online and eventually got dropped by all of his sponsors. Sadly, shortly after this time period, he got into a fight with a friend in a parking lot, resulting in the friend falling and hitting his head and eventually passing away.
Dang. A professional skateboarder from Long Beach is charged with first-degree murder. Prosecutors say 36-year-old Terry Kennedy hit 23-year-old Josiah Casahun in the head, then kicked him in the body at a hotel in Oak Brook Terrace, Illinois. The victim later died.
Terry Kennedy ended up being acquitted of murder charges.
This is stupid Shredder news. Don't use Shredder news as a reference.
Was convicted of 2 counts of aggravated battery and sentenced to 5 years in prison. In all of his early interviews, he was a very kind and soft-spoken person, so fans were conflicted about what happened. On one hand, people were angry with him for becoming unhinged and causing someone's life to end. On the other hand, he had a great reputation for years, and instead of people helping him, they were simply taking advantage of him. This is a very similar situation to his friend Bam Margera.
Yeah, it did seem like drugs or whatever was in the picture with Terry. There was that famous video where Terry quit Baker before it really started to go too south. I remember he quit Baker and then rode for Element and then went back to Baker. But there was this video where he doesn't thank Andrew Reynolds. It was really funny. It's like, he goes, I want to thank everyone at Baker except Andrew Reynolds. Surely I can get it like that. Maybe not. It was crazy. I think it was an Instagram story. Oh, yeah. Might be this.
Shalom. 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 Shalom.
Okay, no, but it was definitely around that time period. Man, I don't really want to go down this rabbit hole.
Cotlacking.com.
All you niggas from Insane, 20s, baby.
Yeah, we don't need to watch all this. Let's continue. But what, is Bam gonna be loved or hated? Surely loved.
Taking advantage of him. This is a very similar situation to his friend Bam Margera, who's easily had the messiest career in skateboarding. After becoming a pro skater in the late 90s, Bam completely blew up thanks to his TV shows and the Jackass movie series. This led to him becoming the most famous skateboarder in the world for several years, gaining tons of fans, and allowing him to make tens of millions of dollars. Sadly, he eventually got caught up partying and spent the better part of a decade battling addiction. His downward spiral got pretty bad at times, and it was all in the public eye. At one point, many of his own friends, and even some of his own family, gave up on him. The guys from Jackass made the last movie without him. A lot of his fans stopped keeping up with what he was doing, and overall, it seemed like just another sad story. However, over the past few years, Bam has really managed to turn things around and seems much better in interviews.
You know, right now, I pretty much just want to take a break from everybody.
Disconnect.
And just completely focus on eating right, going to the gym with her, stretching and skating, and whoever is near me that's a good skater, bring it on.
He has had several periods where he was sober and then relapsed, but he's been going strong for a couple of years now, and many fans are happy to see it. If Bam can keep up this momentum, I see a full comeback coming real soon. I am 100% here for this version of Bam. So proud and happy to see him looking and doing so well. Bam is proof that no matter how bad things are and how much people might be angry with you, it's never too late to turn things around.
So was Bam. So Bam was loved or hated? I feel like in this list, it was most of them were a little bit blurry. None were like super clear. Like even having Nyjah as the hated, you know. But hey, that was a sick video. I like this style of video. It's the very Sunny V2. Shout out to Dusted for a very cool video.